Hello, my friends on the other side of the screen. Yesterday I made like this awesome movie, about my meeting with Christ and me remembering that I was a monk, in early life. Actually, not even just remembering, actually experiencing that life. It was really weird. But then comes the question, do we have many lives? Do everyone has many lives? And I will say, quite easily, yes. But then it's like, what did Jesus say? Does this stand in the Bible? Yeah, it's actually a lot of places in the Bible that only would make sense, within the framework of reincarnation. However, when Jesus was walking on the earth, his main concern wasn't to teach people metaphysics. It was to give people, motivate them to make a new type of relationship with God. Looking at God, as a loving father, to create a loving relationship with God instead of the fear-based religion the Jews had. So he's like taking the fear-based Jewish religion and making it to an inclusive, loving religion for everyone, where everyone can be the child of God. So his main concern was to help people to make that relationship become real. And then he would say, then the Holy Spirit will come within you and tell you everything. However, when you do follow the teachings of Christ and you get the Holy Spirit, eventually you will start to get knowledge about earlier lives. And then you might wonder what's happening, who can I ask about this? Because, well, church tradition has been very clear on that it is only one life. But that is tradition, that is not the Bible. It's two different things. And of course, while I really I believe in the freedom of religion, that people can choose what they want to believe. I think that's very important, because the moment you try to push everyone into one religion, you will get a lot of hypocrisy. People just pretending to believe. But I'm pretty clear of this, that if I want to follow the Bible and if I want to follow the teaching of Jesus, reincarnation is the only good explanation. But I will make another video on that later, showing where the reincarnation is in the Bible, because it's not easy. You have to read a little bit between the lines to see it. But there's nowhere in the Bible, where it stands there are no reincarnation. So, but how does it really work? Can we well, the easy explanation is, of course, that human beings, we are in a long-term development process, coming, all the way, from plants to animals, to humans, and being born over and over and over, forgetting our eternal soul and opportunity to grow, because there are so much things to experience in this world. There are so many things to learn that one lifetime is simply not enough. And you can actually see this on a lot of kids, that have special abilities, like Mozart, for instance. He was able to compose this awesome, works of music already as a 4 years old without any training. How could he do that? Well, because, he had done it in earlier lives. So this was pre-programmed in his soul. So when, the new baby boy that was going to be Mozart was designed, he actually got these gifts already implemented. So that's pretty cool, and you can see that a lot with kids, with special abilities, they have done it before, so their soul is a little bit pre-made in a sense for certain things. But it's very hard to remember early lives, because the personality I have today, I can't sit down now and remember things from my earlier lives, because my whole personality, the interface, the personality is just the interface made between, your soul and your body. And your body, it has a short lifespan, and the same with your personality. But that part, kind of the personality, the sensing part, your consciousness and life force is the spirit. And the thing around it, in a sense, your higher body, in a sense, that's your soul, and it also develops, and eventually it will develop so much, we can be in a relationship with God in heaven. That's awesome. So, but when we live here, we can't really see earlier lives. So there's just two ways to do it. One, you have to have a vision where an angel helps you remember or shows you pieces of what was. That was what happened to me. Suddenly, I was taken out of time and space, and reliving a lot of these things with the help of Christ. The other way is, of course, if you're able to, in some way, hack you up into your soul, and get the information down. I don't know how you do that. I don't know if it's possible, but I know that people that try to do it has usually given, reincarnation theory a bad name, because it's very easy to start to imagine things. If you start to imagine you have been someone famous, and then suddenly, everyone think there have been that famous person, it becomes a little bit ridiculous, because that's actually the false memory thing. Because if you try to imagine something and you don't know where the source is, you can start to make up the source, and then you can make up a fake memory. So, and a lot of those techniques, like hypnotizing, and regression therapy and stuff like that, it can kind of like, I think that they might be able to, create false memories. But who knows, maybe some of it is real too. I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm very skeptical for making things like that. So, wow, me skeptical, huh? Well, of course, even though I work with the spirit, I'm allowed to think, So, but how does it really work? So the thing is, of course, you die, then your body decomposes, your soul does not. Your spirit, your personality also decomposes. And if you're very tied to the material things, that can be an unpleasant experience, being detached from your senses and not being, together with God. And that can feel like kind of like a hellish experience. There's no hell, but it's more like you get lost in like the eternal darkness thing, But it's not forever, because, when the process is over, and your personality is finished decomposing, then, your soul will just connect to another body, and you start to learn again and again and again and again, life after life after life, until, your soul has become so strong and radiant and gotten so much of the power of God that it can go up to, the next level, and live with God in another dimension, so to speak. So, that's the whole thing with reincarnation. Yeah, and I hope that was useful, and, thanks for watching, I will continue to share more cool things. So, just stay tuned.